fighting, they realised that the small pack anti-tank gun there was not cutting the mustard, and the German anti-tank artillery got larger and larger and larger. Behind the stern of the air-cooled engine was a large, I think it's 150mm mortar being towed there behind. Germans were great users of the mortar and extremely skilled. And by this time of the war in 1944, after the Allied invasion, they could really drop those rounds almost down a chimney stack. They've been doing it for so many years. Behind the little oval clips with the towing the anti-tank gun, we got the Kugelwagen. This was a sort of standard field car. People say it was the German equivalent of the Jeep, but actually it was very, very different to the Jeep. It's only two-wheel drive, if it dies, but it has a thing called a limited slip differential, which means it gets a great deal more grip when in the mud than a normal car, but still only two-wheel drive. Very, very cheap to produce. Everything was pressed steel, and the one which is a first aid one, which would have a separate section across the back, and alongside that cable comes the one which is armed and carries an engine 34 in the back. So there's a pair of 222 armoured cars, and behind that the Tiger. Means like a fever, because they began to say that every single tank that came along was in fact a Tiger. This particular vehicle is one built along the lines of the one that we knew running on petrol. The Germans, like the Allies, mostly ran on petrol, which meant that if it did get hit, it was very prone to fire. They were unreliable, basically. They were a wonderful tank, but mechanically there was so much weight and so much power, they couldn't go the gearbox, which was taken. And they were forever breaking down. In fact, a lot of the time they were known as the furniture vans, because they were stationary for so long, and then they would use them as, if you like, a mobile pillbox, or mobile knock in the case. Behind that, we've got a Panzer III, which again, standard light tank of the Blitzkrieg years, and many, many variants produced of the Panzer III. Relatively cheap to produce, relatively efficient. Again, as the war went on, larger and larger guns were fitted on them, and various other variants of that were produced, including something called the Stug, which you will see just